Hey guys, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Today for art, you're going to need 2 sheets of paper, a pencil, and a ruler. We're going to talk about 1-point perspective. 1-point perspective is when there is one single vanishing point in your drawing. So a vanishing point, imagine you're standing on a long straight road. And you know how the road, you know it's the same size, the same width the whole way down the road. But it looks like the road converges to a single point as it gets further away. This is perspective. Things that are further away appear to be smaller than things that are up close. So we could have 2 trees that are the same exact size, but if we put one further away from you, it's going to appear smaller than the one that's right next to you. So first on our paper, you're going to draw a horizon line. So if we think about horizon, if you're looking out over the horizon, it's that point where the sky or the atmosphere meets the ground. So we're just going to have a straight line. We have no mountains right now. So we have a straight horizon line. On this line, you're going to make a dot. This is your vanishing point. It can be in the center, it can be off to the side, that is up to you. We're going to start practicing by using only 3 squares with your ruler. And if you don't have a ruler, you can use something like a box of cereal that has that straight edge and it's not going to give when you use it to draw. So I'll draw one of my boxes with, or one of my squares with this box. So I'm drawing my 4 edges. I'm going to freehand one. And as long as you're comfortable with drawing straight lines, you may freehand one. And I'm going to draw one up in the sky as well. So just start with 3. We're going to decide which box we want to start with first. I'm going to choose this one down here. And to draw it like it is disappearing into that vanishing point, like it's converging to that one single point, we're going to draw a line, which is called a converging line, from each corner to that vanishing point. So I'm going to start with the top left corner. So I'm going to very carefully line up my ruler from the point to the corner and draw my line. Do the same from the next corner. In the bottom right. And I'm not going to do this bottom left corner just because if I were to, it would go straight through the front face of my block. Now if my block were clear, that would be fine, but I want my block to be solid. So this is all we're gonna do for now. So I want you to do that with the next 2 blocks as well. Okay, so I have finished drawing my lines. You didn't see the speed zoom drawing like you normally do because I don't have my video editing stuff. That's on my desktop at school. So you can see all of these boxes look 3D. They look like they are disappearing into one singular point on my horizon. So once you get to this point, you're done with this. Now let's add one more shape. Let's do a circle. So I will show you how to do a circle. If you have something small that you can trace for a circle, if you're not comfortable freehanding it, definitely feel free to do that. If you have, even for your squares, that's fine too. If you have those sheets with the different shapes cut out that you can trace, the little tracers, go ahead and do that. But for your circle, we don't have any corners, So what we're going to do, I'm going to turn my paper so it's more. We are going to draw from that vanishing point to the edge of the circle. So I'm going to the far left edge to my vanishing point. From my far right edge to the vanishing point. So that's how you would do a circle. If you had a shape that had an indent on it, like an L, you would also draw not just from the corners that stick out, but the corners that go in as well. So that would be my circle from the edges, so the outermost edge of your circle, from the point. So the easiest thing to do is to put your pencil down on your vanishing point, put your ruler up against it, and rotate your ruler until it hits the edge of that circle. Okay, so same for the other side. That way it's on that point. Rotate your ruler until it's to the edge of that circle. Your inner points on your other shapes, and then your boxes are the most simple. So once you get this, you're done with this piece of paper. This was just kind of a practice so that we can get on to the next actual project portion. So stop, pause the video, take your time with this, make sure that you're comfortable with it, make sure it looks similar to mine. For the next portion of this project, you're going to, since this is an actual project piece, please put your name on it. On the back preferably. And then you're going to draw just your vanishing point. We won't have a horizon line in this. So I'm going to add my vanishing point as center as I can, just so we can balance out different shapes around that point. And from here, I want you to draw at least 10 different shapes around your vanishing point. Now this is the part where if you have tracers at home, those little templates, it's going to make it a little bit easier for you. If you don't, like I don't, go ahead and use your ruler for your edges, or you can always try to freehand it. But if you freehand it, try to make your edges as straight as you can. So there's one shape for me. You can do some weird shapes like that. I want at least one of these weird shapes. It doesn't have to be this one exactly. It can be similar to the L, but a shape where you have that indented or inner corner. Instead of points, it's an in corner. I want at least one round. You can do squares. If you do have those tracers with hexagons and stuff, feel free to do that. You can make a star. So if you, I don't know how well you'll see that, but I drew my star. Then I'm just going to go over the outer portions with a little more pressure. And then erase the light lines on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to add a few more shapes. I want at least 10, but I'm going to try to fill up the space around my dot. Okay, now that I have at least 10 shapes drawn, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it's okay if you do more. I just tried to fill up my space a little bit. I'm going to draw the vanishing or the converging lines to each corner of my shape, as long as it doesn't cut directly through my shape. So if I start with a simple one, this little diamond here, I'm going to line up corner to my point, draw my line. Now if I do this one, it goes straight through the shape already, so I'm not going to draw that one at all. But I will be drawing this one. But I won't be doing this one because this one goes through the shape as well. Okay. For things that are behind other shapes, like the circle, so I want to do the shapes that are closest to my point first. Okay, so this one won't affect the circle, but imagine I did all the ones close and then I'm going to work on the ones further away. The circle one, if I put it on the dot and line up the edge, it doesn't cut through that square, so I am going to be able to draw that edge. But for this edge, if I line up to my vanishing point and rotate it down to the edge of that circle, if I were to draw the line all the way through, it would cut through this diamond. So what I'm going to do is to draw it until it hits and then stop. I'm not going to continue it on this other side, but it's just going to hit that shape and stop. The same would be for this star. I would draw all of the points to my vanishing point, even the inner corners. And then for this point, it doesn't go through the shape right away, so I'm going to draw it until it hits that other edge. Double check. And this one's just going to be a little sliver, but it's there. Okay, so I'm going to continue and do that with all of my shapes. This project is not going to be done in a 45-minute class period for you. So some of you are going to be finishing these in 2 days, and if you have art class twice during our little virtual break, and the other class, Mrs. Walliser's class, you are going to be doing this once. So Mrs. Hockenberry's class, you'll be doing it twice, or you'll have 2 days. So you should be able to get pretty well finished with this. But Mrs. Walliser's class, you're going to be bringing this back in, and you're still going to have work to do on it. Both classes you will be returning with this as it is once you're finished with it, and then we will do more with it once we are in person, okay? So I will finish drawing my converging lines now. So here's my finished piece for now. It looks a little crazy if you look at the inside, but if you look at each shape and just follow its converging sides down, you can see each individual shape radiating out, I guess, of that center point. So once you have something that looks kind of similar to this, they're all going to be very different, but as long as you have different shapes that are all converging to the same vanishing point, you're good to go. And I will see you during our next in-person class. Please bring this with you, all right? I need this. So don't lose it. Go take it, put it in your backpack or a folder right now. That way it comes to school with you. Good job, guys.